Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode here on 1950. No, we're not on 1950s farm. We are on Sunny Side Up Farms. That's what we're on. Oh dear. Of course, if it wasn't so funny and I was, the ultimate professional, I would cut that, retake it, and start again from the top. But that's kind of funny. That is literally just finished recording 1950s Farms. That's why I said that. Yeah, no, we're on Sunnyside Farms, and as you can see, we are carrying on with our canola harvest this episode, and then we've got the field directly in front of us to do as well, next to this field. So we'll get that one, hopefully we'll get that one nearly done as well today. But yeah, hope you're all well and having a good day. Things are not going too bad in the Mr. Jimmy household. We've just, well, I say we, as in the royal we, because I so I've got this new regime going, this new sort of, well, routine is a better way of putting it. So I kind of went a few months ago, August I think it was, I went to the hospital and saw and had a sort of, I usually have a day with my heart team, and they do loads of different things and tests and stuff, and from there we're able to kind of decide whether anything needs doing or if everything's all right. Anyway, thankfully everything was all right, but I went to see 3 separate people, and 3 separate people said exactly the same thing, and it kind of, it was, I don't know, it was, it's one of those kind of where like, because 3 separate people kind of said it within the space of, however long it was between the space of them saying it, because as I say, I was there for about 3 hours altogether, I think. So I, and they all sort of basically said the same thing. They said, James, you're doing great. You look very well, which is good. However, and it's the kind of, you hear the, you're doing great, you look good, and you're thinking, yeah, this is a bit of me. And then they go, however, and then suddenly your heart sinks, and it's kind of like, oh, here we go, And the 3 of them sort of basically said, you're 2 stone overweight. We understand that exercising for you is, it's difficult and it's hard, and it leaves you, feeling the way that you feel. However, you do need to do something. You can't just sit in front of your computer all day. And so I came home, sort of thinking about it on the train, and I was like, and it was the last person that I saw, to be fair, that kind of sort of made me, because the first 2 were like, oh, you need to start eating lettuce and doing this, that and everything else, and I sort of said to them, well, I can't eat lettuce because that affects my warfarin. And they're like, well, yeah, but you need to be eating sort of salads every day, and I was like, but I don't really like salad. I don't mind tomato, and I don't mind cucumber, and I don't mind onion, but as for the rest of it, I can sort of leave it well alone, sort of thing. Like, I'm not, it's not really something that I'm into. Anyway, but the last person I went to see said to me this, you're overweight. So I was like, yeah, I know. And they said, you're sort of over 2 stone overweight. So I was like, yeah, I kind of sort of thought I had. I said, in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, my weight has ballooned. I said, and they said, like, what do you think the reason for it is? And I'm sitting there, my head's going, it's freaking obvious, isn't it? I'm eating too much. It's like, surely you didn't you didn't have to go to med school to bloody, for however many hundreds of years they have to go all through what they have to go through to get qualified, to say to me, why are you putting on so much weight? Well, I don't know, maybe because I'm eating too much. Maybe because pie's become my favourite food rather than apples. You know, I mean, I'm just thinking, you know. So as I say, it kind of got said, you know, and I sort of, but that person then said to me, you know, but you don't have to diet, and I was like, excuse me, and they was like, they said you don't have to diet, so I said, well, and I said, exactly how am I going to lose the weight if I don't diet? I said, because clearly I'm eating too much of the wrong thing, and they went, nah, not at all. So they said to me, they said, you write down now roughly what you eat in a day. So I wrote down what it was, and they said, right, okay, fair enough. And they said, now you write down how much exercise you do a day. So I wrote that down, and then they did a few sort of, like with their phone, they then did some calculations and said, this is the calories that you're putting in, as opposed to this is how many calories you're burning. So I was like, right. So they said, literally all you've got to do is 10 minutes exercise a day, and you will then cancel out the calories that you're putting in of the foods that you shouldn't be eating. And I was like, right. So they said, like, you know, yes, you could cut out those foods, but then you really wouldn't eat much all day, because I don't eat a lot all day. You know, I eat the wrong things. That I'm not going to say. I do eat the wrong things, but I don't, you know, I'm not stuffing my face all day. I'd rather drink a glass of water than have something to eat. You know, and they, you know, and basically she just said, you know, what you need to do is, you know, if 10 minutes cancels it out, well, another 10 minutes puts you in credit. So I was like, okay. So, you know, she sort of gave me a few things to try, and I came away. That was right at the end of August, that was, and then sort of like 2 or 3 days later, you know, as everyone knows, my son got, you know, left at my door, and, you know, from, you know, a stepmother that didn't want him, a mother that, you know, said she couldn't cope. You know, fair enough, everyone has difficult times, whatever, but, you know, so I, you know, sort of took him on, and I thought, well, you know, as you know the story, you know, I thought, well, you know, I'll look after him all the time, like, you know, because, you know, the behaviours that they sort of kind of talk about, I've never really had. You know, odd occasions I've had things where he's done things and it's been typical sort of you know, boy behaviour, because I sort of think, yeah, I used to do that when I was a little kid, so, you know, can't hammer him for that one. So I was, you know, going to do this sort of, you know, this fitness regime, and as I say, he then ended up coming, and I just literally didn't have any time. You know, it was like, you know, I was either taking him to school, picking him up from school. You know, in between that, you know, I was kind of like, you know, sort of trying to get everything else done and prepared. I was going to, as you all know, I was going to 1,000,001 meetings. I was, you know, and I just didn't get a chance. And then, as I said, a few weeks ago, you know, me and my son was walking on the road, and Mum and the rest of her family come along and snatch him off the street, and I haven't seen him since. So, you know, that's charming, isn't it? You try and do the right thing, and then you get absolutely bloody vilified for it. But anyway, that's nothing to do with the story. So this week, I kind of sort of, as I've said to you, sort of, I think it was last week, you know, the week before, I really did a lot of kind of, not soul searching, you know, it wasn't quite that bad, but I'd sort of started to have a look at my life and sort of say, come on, James, you're 43, you know, if you carry on this path, you might not see 53, you know, you're going to have to try and change some things. And then I went and had my eyes done, and then it was kind of like, you know, you've got cataracts, which, you know, is not a terrible thing. It's a, you know, within an hour, you know, well, say within 2 hours, the whole thing will be fixed and cured, you know. You know, so that you know, that's sort of fair enough, like, but even so, it was kind of like, you know, a little bit young to be having that. And then, you know, then the sort of person behind the desk is sort of saying, well, your tablets are partly to blame for it, but also it doesn't help the fact that you sit in front of a computer screen for, you know, all these amount of hours per day. So I was like, okay, fair enough. So then it was kind of a case of, as I say, I was just sort of sat there, and then I was going through some letters, and I found the booklet that the lady had given me when I went to hospital with the exercises that I should do. And then a sort of kind of chance meeting while I was out, bumped into a lady, and I literally bumped into a lady. I wasn't looking where I was going, and I bumped into her, and I was walking, and I was quite out of breath, and she basically said to me, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "You're quite out of breath." So I said, "It's because I'm walking." And she sort of looked at me and goes, "You shouldn't be getting out of breath walking." And then I sort of said, "Well, got a serious heart condition, blah 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 blah." And I said, it's perfectly normal for me. Don't worry about it. I'm fine, And she was like, "Well," she said, "given everything that you've just told me, fair enough." But she said, "I'm still not entirely convinced you should be this out of breath." And then it turned out she was a physiotherapist, and not only did she do physiotherapy, but she did like exercise classes, private exercise classes. And so I was kind of like, okay, yeah, fair enough, and she said, just when you get in bed every night, just do this one thing. She said, do as many as you can until you literally can't do no more. So I was like, right, fair enough. And then she said, she said, within a couple of weeks you'll start to notice a difference. So last week I started doing this thing. So I've now been doing it exactly once I do it tonight when I get into bed, which is basically just stretch my legs right out as far as I can. So as it stretches, as I say, my legs right out, but it also stretches my back. And then sort of point my toes at the the opposite wall, and then just keep bringing my legs up towards my chin. And I started doing this, and as I say, I've already started to notice a difference. And then on finding the bit of paper, it was kind of like, actually. So I started going for my long walk, which I started last Sunday, which from another video. So I started going for my long walk every day, and today I actually did that same. So the very first time I did it in 23 minutes and 56 seconds, because I have to walk a mile, and then or half a mile I think it is actually, and then today so all of them up until today's one have been roughly in and around the same time, but today I did it in 19 minutes and 52 seconds I think, or 56 seconds, something like that. I can't quite remember now, but I've got it written down somewhere. But yeah, so I've already knocked 5 minutes off my time, and I'm a lot less out of breath. So now I do sort of 10 minutes exercise in the morning when I get up, and then 10 minutes before I go to bed, and then my long walk. And I am starting to notice a bit of a difference. And all the exercises and programs that I do are all sitting in a chair, so they're all chair exercises, and it really is starting to make a difference. I've lost a couple of pounds, but I've not really lost any real weight yet. But that will come. I mean, I'm not going to turn into a Greek god in sort of, I don't know, let's say 7 days when I started doing my leg exercises, but it's getting there anyway. So doing this, so I recorded the 1950s, then I went off for my long walk, and I didn't get a chance to do my exercises. So when I came back, I did my exercises. So I'm sat here now, and my legs are burning. My shoulders and arms are burning. My chest is kind of really tight and sore, and I'm really tired, but feeling much better. I mean, this time of the day normally, and the reason why I don't normally record at this time of the day is because I just haven't got the energy. I literally just don't have the energy. I'd sort of kind of sit and just veg out, really. I just kind of sort of sit there and just really chill, because I'm really low on energy. Whereas today, I mean, as I say, I've just done my my exercises and my walk and that, and I'm buzzing. I'm ready again, like, you know. And I want to eventually build up to a little bit of a goal. So what I would like to do eventually is maybe do a sponsored walk somewhere, or you know, get so that I could actually, you know, sort of walk a little bit of distance or whatever. You know, just to just give myself, because I'm one of these people that I need an end goal. You know, I need a purpose, a reason for doing it, and at the moment that reason is I just need to improve my health a little bit, you know. But once that kind of happens, I'll be, me and my mindset will be like, I've done that now, you know, let's go back to where we were then. Don't need to do it anymore, you know. Whereas if I can keep finding myself sort of new goals and new targets, then you know, that'd be brilliant, you know. So I don't know, it's just things that I'm thinking out loud, you know, sort of at the moment. I mean, all of it will depend on what I get told by London, because you know, they may well say, no, you know, actually you need to cut that one out, you need to do less of this, you know. As I say, my diet is not brilliant, but it's not terrible either. I don't eat takeaways, I don't eat McDonald's, I don't eat KFC, I don't eat Burger King, I don't eat any of that rubbish. You know, it is home cooked food that I eat, and yeah, I do like the odd chocolate biscuit, I gotta be honest. And I don't mean I sit and eat a packet, I couldn't do that. Although, having said that, when I was with my ex last year, we went to Farm Foods, and cool, isn't it cheap there, isn't it, eh? And we went to Farm Foods, and I got myself a tub of Skittles ice cream, and we had tea, and about 9 o'clock I'm sitting there thinking, I really want to eat my Skittles ice cream. It was a proper tub, like quite a big tub of Skittles ice cream, and I sat and ate the whole tub. It's the only time in my life I've ever done anything like that. I sat and ate the whole tub, and I was kind of like, afterwards I was like, yeah, I definitely know I've eaten that. I think my sugar levels in my blood were about, you know, sort of 300-400%, you know. I think some blood got into me my sugar stream. But yeah, it was that's the only time I've ever done anything like that. And as I say, I do like a chocky biscuit. I usually have 2, and that's quite enough. And then, as I say, for the rest of the day I'm just drinking water. Sometimes I put like natural juice in it as well. You know, so sometimes I do sort of flavour the water a little bit if I can, but I don't really drink fizzy drinks, so I think, you know, I'm not doing too bad. But definitely noticing a bit of a difference, to be fair. And you know, the thing that, you know, the other thing that was said to me, and you know, was that if I did do this, and you know, my body responded quite well to it, then you know, there was a reasonable chance and expectation that I might be able to sort of put off the heart transplant another sort of, you know, couple, 3, 4, 5 years, and that would be mega, because I've got to admit, you know, it does worry me, that one. I'm fairly. Where the hell are you going? And yeah, I'm fairly sort of positive and sort of kind of happy-go-lucky, but that one does worry me slightly, you know. But what we'll do is we'll jump out. It should still be over. Oh, I missed it. Darn it. Oh, here we go. Did I get it that time? Would you believe it? Alright, there you go. So we'll do that. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them set up for the next field. When I come in, I'll do a little bit of time lapse, and I'll be in the next field, and then we can go from there. So I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye for now. And I'm back. There we go. We've got a little way into this wheat field already, and that's pretty good. I say all this wheat's going to be for our lovely chickens, and hopefully they will produce a lot of eggs. That's the plan. But it's good to get the rapeseed done, and then as I say, we got into this wheat field, and we're motoring through it. I tried to cut this field as I would have combined it in real life, and the reason why I went around the tractors the way that I did is because we actually had a field. We had 3 fields altogether, but one specific field that stands out in my mind. We had a field that there was nowhere to park the tractors and trailers. They couldn't wait on the road because obviously they would block the road up, and we were never keen on doing that. So what we used to do was we used to bring the combine into the field, and invariably it was me that always got the bloody field to combine. I'd bring the combine into the field with the header on the back, and then with the on the trailer, and then detach from the trailer, put the header on, and then what I would do is then that filled up rather quickly. Is then as I say, once we got the header on, move back out of the way, so then sort of back to the header trailer and back it up so that it was or pull it forward so it was either one side or the other of the gate, and then the tractors and trailers would come into the field and they would sit on the headlands in the crop. I mean, we wouldn't have done it this way when we were doing sort of all-seed rape and stuff like this, because obviously you would knock it out of the pods, but when you're doing wheat and barley, you can sort of get away with it a little bit more. Not much more, but you can certainly get away with it a little bit more than what you can do with rapeseed. And then I would just cut round them like I did in this field, and then once you kind of got into the middle of the field, then what would happen is that they would obviously start parking the tractors, in the lands, or sort of on where we'd obviously already cut, and then one of them would attach the trailer to the header trailer and pull that out of the bit of crop that I'd left that in, and then we would do it, and that's how we would do it. And it's surprising, you don't really do that much damage, in the crop, doing it that way, And so when I sort of came down that headland and saw the 2 tractors in the crop, it made me think of that field, and I just thought, well, all we used to do was just cut round them and then just sort of straighten it off when we cut the bit that we've missed, and that's what I did there. So, and the corners, how I did them, that would have been how I would have again done them in real life. That was pretty much how I did my corners, and it basically just gave you enough room to fit the combine in sideways, if you like, so you could then go down the next pass on the next headland. So yeah, it's I just thought I'd do it that way, and then sort of you guys, I mean, probably, I'm not trying to teach anyone to suck eggs. I mean, you've all played the game as much as what I've done and what have you, and even more of you have probably worked on farms yourselves, but so I'm not trying to teach you anything that you don't already know, but I'm just showing you, and I'm not saying the way I do it is right, I'm just showing you the way that I would do it, or I did it in real life, and that was how I did it. And like I say, I never got no complaints or nothing from the bosses, so I always took it that I was doing the right thing. And the other lads as well, they never ever sort of said anything to me either, so I just kind of took it that, oh, well, I must be doing the the right thing then, so but that was how I did it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help. I say it every video, I know, and I know it gets boring and tedious, but you know, it's free to subscribe, so you know, and it does help the channel. And all that's left for me to say is thanks ever so much for watching this episode. I've really enjoyed having your company, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye for now.